All right, let's take a look here at the Invisible Man. And he's got 3 of these fog tokens that will come with him. The Invisible Man is a solo fighter, a melee move 2 with 15 health. At the start of the game, after you place Invisible Man, place 3 fog tokens in separate spaces in his zone. When Invisible Man is on a space with a fog token, add 1 to the value of his defense cards. Invisible Man may move between 2 spaces with fog tokens as if they were adjacent. He has a 5 value attack here. Surprise attack, 2 copies. Cancel all effects on your opponent's card. And if Invisible Man's on a space with a fog token, move that fog token to another space. Then we have a 3 attack, Emerge from the Mist, 2 copies. If Invisible Man started this turn on a space with a fog token, this card's value is 5 instead. Slip Away. It's a 3 copies. Move 1 fog token to a space without a fighter, then place Invisible Man on that space. 3 versatile, 2 copies, Dreaming of Revenge. If Invisible Man's on a space with a fog token, all opposing fighters on spaces with fog tokens take 1 damage. Confound. Another 3. 2 copies, your opponent may choose to discard 1 card. If they do not, you may move each fog token to any other space. A 2 value versatile with 3 copies. Covert Preparation. Draw 1 card, move 1 fog token up to 2 spaces, then your opponent moves a different fog token up to 2 spaces. Impossible to See. A value of 2 with 2 copies. Immediately, the value of your opponent's attack or defense is 0 and cannot be changed by card effects. Other card effects still happen. Into Thin Air. This first defense that we see. 2 copies. Move Invisible Man up to 1 space. Your opponent then moves a fog token up to 3 spaces. Lurking. 2 value. Defense. 2 copies. After combat, draw 1 card and choose 1 effect. Move Invisible Man to a space with a fog token, or move 1 fog token up to 3 spaces. A 3 value, Coded Notes, 2 copies, draw 3 cards. Then choose 2 cards from your hand and put them on top of your deck in any order. Then we're getting into the schemes here. Reign of Terror, 2 copies. If Invisible Man is on a space with a fog token, deal 2 damage to any 1 opposing fighter. Step Lightly, 2 copies. Deal 1 damage to 1 adjacent fighter. If Invisible Man is on a space with a fog token, deal 3 damage instead. Your opponent then moves a fog token up to 2 spaces. Rolling Fog, move 1 fog token to another space, gain 1 action, 2 copies of that as well. And finally, Vanish. Recover 1 health. Remove Invisible Man from the board. At the start of your next turn, place Invisible Man in any space. If you played this as your first action, end your turn. So what do we do with Invisible Man? Well, you have your 3 fog tokens that you're setting up at the beginning of the game, but you have to remember that you have to place them like fighters, so you cannot place Invisible Man on space number 1 or 2, and then the fog also. You have to place them in separate spaces in your zone. And so, because they follow that rule, you'll be vulnerable on your first turn. You won't be able to be on here. His game plan pretty much is exhausting or forcing the opponent to chase you. You're kind of a camper type of hero. You have plenty of cards to work with a lot of text on it compared to most other fighters, right? And you do have a significant amount of schemes compared to most other fighters. 8 different schemes that you can do. So you have a lot of passes. So you're good at running away. You're good at forcing the opponent to come for you so that they don't exhaust, because they got to kill you first. Let's talk about the card Step Lightly real quick. We'll go through some of these schemes, but this one's just dealing 2 damage, right? If you are on a space with a fog token, which should be easy to do. And then this one is dealing 1 damage to an adjacent fighter. If Invisible Man is on a space with a fog token, deal 3 instead. Obviously, you want to deal 3 instead, right? So that's 6 damage. 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 just through scheming. So what you're going to want to do, if you can't get to them, is play this other scheme. Move 1 fog token to another space, gain 1 action. And then maneuver and then play Step Lightly. So you have that to help out with some of these effects as well, and getting around and moving around, and that's kind of what he does anyway, right? And then Vanish, if you play it as your first action, you end your turn. So usually you want to play it as your first action and make sure that they can't scheme and do something so that they have to waste 2 maneuver actions, preferably when they have a handful of cards. If they have a handful of 7 cards, you play this first action, in considering, keeping in mind if they have any schemes that they can play as passes too, so that they're wasting cards, because that's what you want. You want to force them to waste cards. Now, while he has a lot of defenses, he doesn't have feints. But if you're staying on your fog, you're getting +1. So these 3s become a 4, these 2s become a 3, the 4 becomes a 5, and so on. So that's pretty good defense if you're staying on those tokens. Now, he does need to come off and attack sometimes as to not exhaust himself. But he does have some pretty good attacks for that. He has these 5s, which are cancel attacks. And if Invisible Man is on a space with a fog token, move that fog token to another space. Okay, so that's not that great because you have to move the fog away and then you're vulnerable. But it's worth it for the attack. Emerge from the Mist is great. If Invisible Man started this turn on a space with a fog token, this card's value is 5, so it's a 5. And they usually don't know when that's coming because you always kind of start on a fog token. And then slip away, move 1 fog token to a space without a fire, then place Invisible Man on a space. This is nice for getting in, attacking, and running away, like you're supposed to do as Invisible Man. Run away. Now, with this particular character and his 3 tokens, placement is key. Now, placement is key in general in Unmatched, right? But with the Invisible Man, placement is key for your fog and your fighter, and being aware of where the enemies are, because sometimes you can get off certain effects, even some of these more difficult ones, like Dreaming of Revenge. If Invisible Man is on a space with a fog token, all opposing fighters on a space with a fog token take damage. So maybe you can take out some people that are trying to block some psychics that are trying to block your movement between fog, because sometimes the opponent wants to do that. Impossible to See is it's not a feint, but it does make the value a 0. It doesn't cancel the effect, but it's really nice for defending. You can use it to attack also, but be conscientious of when to use that to attack or not. And then, of course, always be conscientious, and this goes for pretty much every fighter, of how much cards you're drawing. But he does have some draw. Keep in mind here, with the draw 3 cards and choose 2 cards from your hand, it's not just the 3 cards that you draw, it's your whole hand. You can choose 2 cards from your hand and put them on top of your deck in any order. But pretty much, he's a schemer, he's a runner, and he likes to force the opponent to chase him. Anyway, that is Invisible Man. I hope that gives you a little rough idea of how to play him a little bit better.